welcome back to 4Geeks My Geeks, the place where geeks come to geek out. And this is episode 32 of Cloudscape. Who do we have at our table this morning?
I'm Josh.
Evening, this afternoon, whenever you're watching it.
No matter what time it is, I'm Josh.
I'm also not Josh, but Britt.
I thought you were gonna say Austin, to be honest, but that's me, Austin. And that guy is someone else.
And I'm also Josh.
No!
Ah!
Oh man.
The most darkest timeline.
We should have a Syrkon episode where we all played Syrkon.
But it's just Syrkon at different periods of his life.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I call 8-year-old Syrkon.
Damn it! Is that when
The
he
man
was man, or
timeline?
was that
Yeah, that was
later?
the man timeline.
Fuck!
I just love the idea of him, like, doing the, like, Lilo and Stitch style voodoo with pickles and spoons or whatever. You know what I mean? I just don't know how to do Syrkon's voice as a kid. Maybe I just keep the adult.
Yeah, 100% what it is.
The
He
adult.
sounded the same
Yeah.
his entire life.
Mother, I'm hungry for some grilled cheese.
Fun fact:
Give me
Syrkon
snackies.
is lactose intolerant.
Who's this?
Syrkon.
Yeah, Syrkon.
Syrkon's lactose.
Just kidding.
But at 8 years old is when he learned about lactose intolerance.
Mother, my stummy hurty.
Oh no.
I flew
I've
up.
shit my pants.
Evil Sheldon at this point.
Did you say evil Sheldon? From the creators of Young Sheldon, we present Evil Sheldon.
And it's just young Sheldon, but they've changed all the background music to make it ominous.
Yeah, every time he makes a joke, instead of canned laughter, it's like
I like it. You're welcome, CBS.
Yeah. Years of revenue.
Perfect.
at least a year.
It's more than this show's gotten, so I think we're onto something. But hey, thanks for joining us this far into the story. We really means a lot to us. And hello, one audience member. And this is when you comment in the chat. No, I'm here. No, me too. Oh my god, I love the show so much.
We appreciate
Farrell,
it.
No,
stop
if you want
typing all of that. Farrell, what are you doing? You're embarrassing yourself.
You made all these different spam accounts. But oh my god, last week we were without T, but he has been caught up on the story for the most part, I think. Probably forgot lots of things. Currently, we're all spread out all over the city. But I believe we're back now at the same point in time-ish. If not, we're going to say it is.
Hands off,
That's the
cheeks
power
spread.
I hold. Excuse me?
You telling me we're all not exposed right now?
Yeah. He's going over prison etiquette for Kit.
Oh my god. Good thing you're in a solo cell.
What did he say?
Thanks for me.
He's your attorney.
don't
I'm just.
He's the top here.
Okay, you work with what you have when you have no money.
Yeah, we do need to settle up payment before you go.
That's darkest timeline where Kit
That's
has
actually-
become a streetwalker.
It's actually pretty funny, though, the idea of kids like being like sent to exile, and then Theo comes up. Oh yeah, by the way, that'll be 10%. We didn't win, so just 10% of my fee. I'll need just like kind of like for my time, really.
I just need the deposit. I'll waive the rest.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I lost. I'll admit that, but I do need to be paid. I've got thousands of people I need
whose
to
name
pay for.
Before all of this becomes canon, we better roll into today's episode. Are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Yes, sure.
Previously on Cloudscape, we were kind of wrapping up a few things, starting with Syrkon, who received a phone call at the previous episode from Theo. Or wait, no, we moved to that. Anyway,
Yeah.
You left the safe house, took the truck that you stole, and headed back towards your place. You ran into a little bit of problem, or not your place. Yes, your place. God, I'm good at my job.
For this week's recap, I'm going to say a bunch of sentences, and then we're going to get into the recap.
Some of them will be right, some of them will be wrong. Go watch the other 31 episodes and find out.
I appreciate that you blamed yourself when we are the ones who spread ourselves in 4 separate directions.
It's my fault. It's really my fault. You took the truck, you went back to your place, and you finally opened up the book that you picked up in the first minute of the first episode. At Stacks. It was My Journeys, that handwritten journal, and it kind of felt like it was volume 3 of the other 2 of the collection that you found throughout the last 32 episodes. And you used your... What's that ability that you can read things? Or it's one of your aspects?
Oh, my scholarly aspirations.
Scholarly aspirations to speed read this entire thing, and you gleaned information from the start of this Tauran city's story, where everybody entered the city. There was an uprising on the surface of those that were not selected in the lottery to enter into the city. And then there was even another bit of dissension of those that were not ready to be ruled with a newly appointed king, King Praxis Dumas. The author herself, was part of that group that wasn't really thrilled about the idea of being ruled by a king. After gaining this knowledge, you headed back to Trumans, ran into a little bit of difficulty there at the blockade to get back, since this area was being evacuated after a major spill of raw Zodicium by Alsvid's Fault. But you flexed your name, Syrkon Syroko, and by a light guard that wants to get good with the golds, let you through, said, "Don't forget me. Tell my name. Tell my story." I think I did write it down in New Randos. Officer Saronin.
Saronin?
Yes. Yes, serotonin was the word mind, so I just removed a couple letters. And
I thought you were just combining Syrkon Syroko for this NPC's name.
Yes, they modeled their entire life after Syrkon Syroko.
That's why they're...
My name is Syrkon Syroko. My name is eerily close to that.
Anyway, you went back to Trumans. You found it completely empty because it was being evacuated, and you eventually found the same material that your tiny cape was made of in an effort to make an entire suit out of this material. You took your pants off. Theo called you, said, "Meet me at my place." You said, "I'll be there in 2 hours." And that's where we left you. Then we went back to Wayland at the Sigurd's Reach headquarters, where you were picking up your face-to-face with Uriah, who dosed himself with a bunch of X. You guys had a fight, but even on X and a cool rewind ability that empowers him to go back a few seconds, still kicked his ass, forced him to yield, and he pretty much tentatively gave you back the leadership with Sigurd's Reach. Kit, you went back to the Citadel. You had 3 visitors in your little isolated area. First was Nan, who was very sad. Second was your father, who was very determined to fix things and stop you from being exiled. And a third visitor that you weren't quite expecting, Kieran Gold himself. And after giving him a good roasting, he left, somewhat threatening the idea that you'll be off-site. Meanwhile, he gets to do all the things that he wants to your family in your absence. And that's where we left.
I think he explicitly said that what he wanted to do was kiss and cuddle them, though. So,
I
Yes.
do remember some.
yes.
It was between the
I
lines.
will spend a fate point for that.
He just got a crush on Nan this entire time.
I don't know if I told you this, kid, but your Nan is the most beautiful creature I've ever seen.
Entire wars have been fought over women before. This is not too far off the possibilities of truth.
True.
And Osvid is still yet to be found, but we're gonna find him when he's able to join us again. Everyone send Lucas your love. He wishes he could be here.
He's cleaning up the cribbage board I knocked over.
You knocked it hard.
I did.
But Theo, the last place that we found you was in the back of your mother's car, having a heart-to-heart, we'll call it, with Reginald McCarthy. And shortly after he exited the vehicle, you called Syrkon. So really, I'm not quite sure where to pick up and where to begin. But because we had an entire episode without you, the first thing I want to do, Syrkon, roll for pants.
Yes. All right. What sort of role are we?
It's got to be crafts. It
I
absolutely
think
has
we need
to.
a crafting roll.
Shit, I don't have crafts at all.
Just
He
roll good.
ends up making a skirt.
Okay. Let's see. Because that's 4 negatives. So
Fate point, he makes assless chaps.
Fate point, he sews himself to the fabric.
I'm going to spend a fate point to re-roll using my scholarly aspirations to
All right.
because I've read patterns. I've studied the technique of sewing and stitching.
I, Syrkon Sirocco, have read patterns, but still took my pants off in order to make the pants.
I didn't have a tape measure.
He had to
I
trace
don't know
it.
my size. Okay. Fuck. Anything is better than what I just rolled. So that is a 1. Fuck.
It's better.
It's better.
All
It's
right.
better than 4 negatives. Fuck.
All right. So you're going to be struggling for the next little bit of time.
Give me
as
2
you're
hours.
working on-
6 hours later.
We'll see where you're at in a little bit, but know that with full confidence of Syrkon Sirocco, you set forth on this task that you've probably never really done before, and we're gonna see what it turns out.
I assume it's just like stitching skin. And so that's the method I'm using.
That's the problem.
It's like a
That's the
big
problem.
hooked. With like a big
It's
hook.
thicker and has more durability.
Fishing
so you're
line.
not-
Oh my god, actually, I love that idea so much. I'm not going to spend a fame point or anything, but I love the idea that this is... Okay, so this is a workroom in a seamstress's office, right? Tons of tables, which means there's probably like a dozen sewing machines. And Syrkon pulls out the yard, makes his cuts, and then he's like, where's the first aid kit?
I don't think the fake
I
point's
just-
needed.
No, I just need a fishing hook
Yep.
and some dental floss.
Perfect. So we'll see what comes of it.
Yep.
But Theo, after you make this call to Syrkon, you're in the back of your mother's car. What would you like to do?
Theo simply waits for her.
Really? Okay. So you're just sitting in the back. Denton is currently in the driver's seat, if you recall.
Yes.
And are you going to let him wait there, or do you have any orders for him as well?
Nope, he's just gonna wait.
All right. So you're sitting, you're waiting. It's probably a better part of an hour. And eventually you look out the window and you do see the familiar shape and face of your mother. she's out of her regalia, her judge regalia, and she's wearing kind of a business attire, like a pencil skirt with a blazer, and this kind of gaudy scarf that's flowing underneath and kind of catching the wind. And she's making her way towards the car, and as she comes around towards the driver's side, she immediately stops, seeing that there is a body in the driver's seat. Doing anything or allowing this to happen?
Yeah, I think Theo would probably get out of the car at that point.
Okay. Quick question, if that's all right.
Yes?
You said the city is shut down right now?
The Prism District is shut down, yes.
I just wanted to know what, like, I just wanted to know if this, because from my headcanon, this place was, like, beyond the Prism District. So, like, you had to go through it to, like, enter town.
Correct.
Is like, that's how I pictured it. So, in theory, we should be isolated, like, we should be stuck here and, like, quarantined and not able to go home.
Yeah, for the most part, if, like, Reginald was on his way home, he would find that there would be a blockade to, because the way that this area is set up, don't you wish you had a map? The Prism District's really like the downtown area, but just slightly north of that is the Seat of the Shining Sun, which is this massive castle, and it takes up almost like the size of an entire district. And just at the foot of the gates to enter into that are somewhat of the higher, I guess, prestige areas, one of which would be the High Hall of Justice.
Okay, well,
So it's sitting at like the foot of the Seat of the Shining Sun, and so to get out of this area to go home, you would have to drive through a blockade. So you would be a little isolated, unless you wanted to take another route.
Yeah. Okay, because I just wanted to clarify that if there was, like, people being like, sorry, you can't go home right now, we got to deal with this thing first, then Reginald would just turn around and go right back to work and just start working on the kit case.
Inside the hall?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll know where Reginald is, because you would quickly, like, as you drove away, you would quickly be stopped.
Yeah, I don't know if it'd be on the news or whatever, like on the radio. Reginald's an AM radio kind of guy.
Yeah, as we learned a couple episodes ago, when Denton got in the car and started it, the radio turned on, and it was cutting to that breaking news that there was a massive zodicium spill, and the prison district was being evacuated.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So Theo, you step out of the car. She's now standing just a few feet away from the driver's seat. Or the driver's door, and you met with a bit of shock, but piqued curiosity. Hello, son.
I've spent a good chunk of time determining what to do in this moment, and I've genuinely been conflicted to kill you now and force you to atone for the endless number of sins you've committed and the atrocities you continue to put forth on this land. But unfortunately, I have made the decision to play this game your way. I need you to realize I will find you no matter where you are, no matter how protected you are, no matter who you are with. When it is your time to come, it will come at my hand. And Theo's just going to get very close to her, act like he's going in for a hug, and it's just going to get really close to her ear. I'm going to set your world ablaze. And Theo's going to tap on the window for Denton to get out of the car, and he's just going to walk away from her.
Oh, Theo.
Theo keeps
Send
walking.
Russell my love. And she kind of hesitates to get in the car as she's watching you walk away.
I would like to roll sleight of hand. Nope, that's not a thing. I would like
That's
to
not a thing.
roll. Hold up, I have something for magic. I'm gonna use. I guess I want to make it look like I have like a detonator in my hand to like make her character do anything with her car.
Oh, okay. Roll deception.
Okay. And then with stunts, if the roll is poor, I can add. I'm still not great with how
Stunts have their own like unique mechanics
Okay,
that you come up
okay.
with.
All right. Well, deception's +3, so I'm fine with that, which is perfect because that makes a 4.
So you're using, is this your card stunt?
No, I'm just deception. I'm gonna make it look like I just have something in my hand with like my thumb up as I walk away, and so I want her just as I'm walking away to make her think for a moment that I could blow her up her car.
It's really just a pen with a red
Right.
clicker, but
Right. Yeah. You rolled a 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
So begins Theo's mental torture.
So, do you continue walking, or do you like glance back? To
No,
see
Theo
if
just
she's
keeps walking away.
there? Okay. You feel pretty confident about your little clicker, but if you don't turn around, you don't see how she reacts.
Oh, that's fine.
Where are you headed?
Hearing the radio, Theo is actually gonna walk towards the incident location area.
All right, so you're leaving this kind of campus of the Hall of Justice, and you're passing once again these tall kind of obelisks in a prism shape that are catching the light of the sun and making this look like a very peaceful, beautiful place. You're walking like through the parking lot and down towards the road that leads back towards the Prism District, and you can see from a distance that now there are blockades with light guard officers and light guard vehicles basically blocking the entire road out of here. And there are there's a small line of cars, a little bit of beeping. People aren't quite sure what's going on, but as you approach, you can see that they are stopping and not letting anybody enter past this area.
Well, we know how Theo's going to make his way through, but he's probably going to go towards like a less congested area, and probably just find a lonely light guard or two to make his move towards past the blockade.
So yeah, there's like a main entrance that's leading up, but then you would know that there's kind of a back way where some of the staff and honorable people would take. They wouldn't try to take up the main road. They'd kind of circle around the back, and so you head towards that way, and there's one light guard vehicle and two light guard officers kind of leaning against. Roll connection.
I'm gonna need you to start writing some names and backstories because that's a 7, my boy.
Let me just go to cantina13.com, where they created a great generator for our past campaign, City of Mist. But it makes a great character generator.
I'm just saying we can tie these two stories together by saying when Pandora's protection released into the world, that's what caused the chaos. I'm just lobbing that
We
out
joke
there.
that this campaign becomes more and more like City of Mist every episode. All right, so from a distance, you can see, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I know this guy. You recognize Renato Masterson, who you would know has been on the force for a number of years. You've had a couple run-ins. He's been on the force long enough that he's kind of like over putting up with shit. But he's really a straight shooter of a guy. He's gonna call you on bullshit, but you've known him get away with a few things just because you caught him on a day that he's just like over it. So you're not quite sure in what state you're gonna catch him today, but as he sees you walking up, he was leaning on the car, and he steps up, and he's like, oh shit, and he grabs his helmet that was sitting on the roof of the car, and he places it on, and immediately he's like putting a hand up, It's like,
Rhaenyra
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
grabs his hand and shakes it aggressively.
No, you're not getting past. It's a blockade. Even for you.
I don't need past. I need photos. I've already begun calls for incidents. I need to take photos so I can start getting ahead for cases.
Photos of what?
What do you mean of what? Look, open your eyes, Ronaldo. I know you're getting old, but fuck, man.
Wow. After all this time we've known each other, it's Renato. And you can call me Officer Masterson today. Thank you very much. No, this is a safety issue. I don't care about your cases. Your cases will be there after all of this.
The safety issue is all of the people involved in this. I need to get ahead of it. I need photos so I can start taking statements and get ahead of this so we can get this people safe and sound and not trapped in this, because we don't know what this raw X is going to do to people at these high volumes. It may not contact them, but with this high dosage of what I'm assuming this is raw, completely uncut, we don't know if the fumes are going to impact anybody.
Yeah, safety's my job. Thanks. Whatever.
Did you get that promotion finally?
Yes, thank you for asking.
Very proud of you.
But I don't want to jeopardize that by letting some rando citizen through and in a highly volatile situation.
Rando. That's where
roll
we're at.
Rapport. Roll rapport.
We made that charisma, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 5.
Fuck. All right, rando's not the right. Listen, I'm just trying to do my job, and every time,
complicate your job.
Every fucking time, I need to something. I just got this promotion. You're not gonna fuck it up.
Why would I fuck it up? I'm proud of you. I put in a good word for you.
I know you did, and I really, really, really appreciate it. He looks at the other officer that's. He looks at the other officer next. And let me push generate one more time.
I love the idea that that both of them know Theo really well, and and he's happy that the other guy is who engaged with Theo.
Right.
So the guy's like, you can see that he's getting beaten down. He turns to his partner for like support, and he's just like, "Fucking problem, dude. You got to say no. I'm not saying shit."
And he looks. He's like, Everwind. This is Officer Everwind. Pedro Everwind. And the other officer said, "Yeah, I know. I'll take my break." And he just like heads back towards the Hall of Justice because obviously there's really great scones in there. And
Oh my God, don't get me started.
we cut to Reginald with like an armful of them as he walks back to his office.
Yeah, I've got my paperwork. I've got like a file in my mouth, like I don't know, just...
Maxwell, really, I'm concerned for anyone's safety in there. If you show up dead on the noose, this won't look good for me.
Brother, nobody's going to know, one, if something were to happen, that you would be responsible. And for two, it's me.
Yeah, exactly. It's you.
I'm the main character. It's fine.
He admitted it. He admitted it.
Oh no, Theo believes he's the main character. There's no doubt in anybody's mind that this is Theo's world and everybody else is just in it.
Oh, for sure.
Take the path, the walking path. Stay off the main street. I don't know what kind of coverage they got a couple blocks down. But...
And listen, I'll send Denton home. Denton, you've got to find your own way. It'll just be me. You got nobody else to concern yourself with, but just me. I'll be back.
Right on, Mr. Maxwell. Denton just like not sure where to go. He just kind of lingers, staring awkwardly at, I forgot his name already, Masterson.
I do. I love that idea too. He puts his hands in his suit pockets. Sup?
Yeah. And so you head off, and there's a walking path that leads towards the Prism District, but kind of off the main roads, and as in their attempt to make it like a park and make it a nice place that people want to hang out. And so you do know that there's a path that leads a little away from the building and off the main road, but you'll eventually come across some taller buildings that would be in the Prism District, and so you can weave your way through and get towards that evacuated area.
As Theo's walking, he's gonna rummage through his briefcase and pull out probably a flask, and he's gonna begin to drink from it heavily.
Roll physique.
Oh, see, this is where we get him, guys. That's a 0. That's a -1.
What's in the flask?
Drink
of choice.
Theo's a tequila boy.
Oof. Right?
I've never had
Warm?
a flask, and it sounds terrible.
Ugh. And so yeah, the moment you open this up, it's that smell just almost knocks you off your ass. But in your state, you take a heavy draw, and you just feel it like hit your stomach and the front of your head almost immediately. Where you're headed?
Theo's heading straight towards what he would assume would be the ground zero.
So as you're walking further into the Prism District, the first thing you notice is this slight haze that's starting to fill this area. Also, as you're walking, roll stealth just to see any random light guard officers that might be passing through to make sure it's all clear.
That's a 2?
Okay. That's a fair on the competence ladder. So this drink is starting
how to counter Theo.
Yeah. The drink has hit you much sooner than you realized. I think you forgot to eat breakfast this morning.
Nope, just the scone.
Oh yeah. And so you're being less careful than maybe you normally would.
Oh yeah, no, Theo is throwing caution to the wind.
And as you're just walking on the street in this haze, you can kind of see that if you look down the street, on one end you can see the haze, on the other end it starts to look thicker, and so that's where you head. But as you're walking, you do notice a light guard vehicle with its lights on, like coming out of the thicker end of the haze.
How far would Theo be from? Can Theo see?
You would see the lights.
How thick it is?
Think of like a really foggy day, like if there was a fog delay for school, where maybe like 100 yards, you wouldn't be able to see really anything except for the buildings that are towering above. It's kind of a lower haze. It's sticking closer to the ground.
Okay.
It's got kind of a purplish hue, but you'd see the lights on the vehicle first.
Theo would probably duck behind something to try to avoid visual from them.
And so that's your 2 roll.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm gonna roll for them. I'm gonna roll a perception for light guard. Let's see. Do I have a stat for them? I don't think I opted them to have perception as a high stat.
I mean, it is hazy.
It is hazy. And their lights were already on. It's not like
Lights make it worse in fog.
you're right.
Their vision's got to be worsened.
it's not like the lights were on because of you; they were just already on. So it feels like they're headed somewhere.
Okay.
And in the haze, even though you're not being super stealthy, they rolled 2 negatives. So they are just key lining towards wherever they were headed, and you manage to skirt their gaze, and they drive right past you.
Then
And you're heading to the thickness.
continues to drink and continues to head towards the thickness.
Same.
I got sympathy for the thickness.
It's not only the drink that is like hitting you. Now you're kind of sensing your lungs start to burn a bit, and you start to choke and cough on this haze. It doesn't taste good. You start to kind of spew up a little bit, not throwing up, but just like coughing and like hacking as you're headed towards. What do you know about raw Zodicium?
I feel like Theo would have a fair level of education on it. He practices any level of law and is obviously aware of what it is. He's probably not an expert by any means, but has done his fair amount of research for cases.
Roll lore.
Fucking bastard.
Let me just skirt around all the stats you're good at.
That's just a 0. That's 2 pluses, 2 minuses, plus 0, 0.
Tabitha would know.
Tabitha would know. See, that was the issue. Theo resulted way too much on Tabitha's.
Yeah. The paralegals know everything. No.
And maybe on a sober moment, you would be able to remember more, but right now, in your emotional state, in your increasingly drunken state, you can't quite remember, like, the things that are true about Rosodicium, like, after they collect it from the clouds and the cloud engines or the turbines below, if it's in a liquid state, if it's in a gaseous state, you just keep walking into the thicker of this haze. What's your plan? Just to walk?
Theo is probably gonna try to call Tabitha as he's drunkenly walking towards.
All right, so you drunkenly punch in her number and
probably takes a couple attempts. I'd like to roll to see if I get it right on the first try.
Sure.
That's -2.
Nice.
I don't know what stat I'm adding to that, but just roll. That's -2. No, you're muted. Bud.
The
You
first
could use connections for that, but
the first call, you like punch it in, and you put it to your ear. What, Theo?
Who's Tabitha?
No, it's Smalley. What?
Oh, yep, that's a fail call. That is a failure result call. Yeah.
And Theo just hangs up.
Well, on your little heart meter, you just lost another one.
Poor Molly.
But the second attempt, you managed to call Tabitha. Hey, what? What is it?
I failed.
What are you talking about? You failed?
Kit's going to the surface.
You're kidding.
And it's all that bitch's fault.
I got a lot of bitch in my Rolodex. You're gonna have to be a little more specific.
Fucking Helena.
Oh no. Theo, I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna burn that bitch's work to the ground.
Okay, you sound a bit emotional. Where are you?
I love you so much. Is Liana still with you?
Yeah, she's in the other room. Where are you?
Give her my love for me. And Theo hangs up.
You feel it immediately ring or buzz. I don't know what you have your phone set to. As Tabitha's attempting to call back.
In court.
So she immediately calls back.
Theo doesn't answer.
for the next several minutes, you feel your phone buzz and buzz and buzz and buzz. But again, are you trying to get anywhere? Are you just walking?
Ground zero. And Theo's probably going to start mumbling to himself. I break some rules. I bend some things. But if this is the game that they want to play, then it's time for Theo to play the game.
Roll a perception.
God damn it, Bozer. It's -2.
That tequila and the mixed with the haze is like your sight is starting to get a little woozy, and you're not quite sure from which, whether it's the haze or it's the rot gut tequila. But you're starting to stumble around, and you just keep drawing yourself towards whatever hurts your lungs more. And you're starting to wheeze and cough. And you notice that there's small puddles on the ground that you're starting to walk through. And it's almost like these puddles themselves are emitting a bit of haze from them. And in a sober mind, you might be able to understand that you're now walking through this Zodicium that was kind of pressurized in this canister, but after it had been knocked around and stuck in that moving train that elevated itself, and it kind of showered and sprayed this entire area. And so you see some small puddles on the ground. You don't quite understand where, because right now you can barely see your hand in front of your face. And you feel your lungs starting to wheeze. Roll physique one more time.
3.
So you manage to, like, maybe you're holding your breath, maybe your instincts, your physical instincts are starting to kick in and reduce the amount of the haze that you're breathing in just to keep going forward. Maybe instinctively you grab your jacket and cover your face as you're starting to walk further and further into what would be assumed to be ground zero, even though ground zero is such a far spread out area at this point, since it was unsure how far this train actually got before it had stopped. I'm not quite sure what you're aiming
as
for.
As Theo is kind of getting to his breaking point, he's just going to drop to his knees. I'm going to bring this whole city with me. He's just going to inhale as deep as he can.
And you drop to your knees and inhale, and you feel your vision just start to tunnel and close until your consciousness almost fades completely. And you fall. And as you do, you kind of fall into a puddle. And it's almost like I'm picturing that Harvey Dent moment in The Dark Knight where he's like face down. It's almost like entering his mouth, entering your nose, as this raw Zodicium is it's almost drowning you. Anyway, that's where we're gonna leave Theo for a moment. Wayland. Back at Sigurd's Reach, the last place we found you was in the penthouse. Uriah is beat to hell. His nose, his whole face is bloody. He's just like, at this point, he's crawled himself to the bathroom and is attempting to clean himself up, and he found a first aid kit underneath the sink and is trying to patch his wounds. What would you like to do?
I guess what I'll do is, I feel like for now, he may be a flight risk, but I don't think that he's gonna. Whatever he was planning to do, I'm pretty confident that he wasn't trying to jump off the balcony to hurt himself. So, I'm gonna go downstairs, and I'm just going to I'm assuming we haven't really discussed the layout much, but I'm assuming that there's a room where they do the communications. There'll be wherever they get their plans for the masses, if there's an emergency or something. Maybe there's there might just be a person in charge of that or something, but the idea is I just want to gather all of the people nearby to muster, and I want to address them kind of just in their entirety.
So you would know with the layout, this was your headquarters, that as far as communications go, it's not super high tech. It's been very much one-to-one. You use cell phones a lot and to call those that need, but you do know that there is a room and somebody, usually a Tim, that worked his way up the ranks to kind of be in charge of communications, and there's kind of a muster call that sends almost a mass alert to everybody's phone, that would summon them back to headquarters, or maybe summon them to somewhere else in the city, depending on what the alert said.
Okay, so I guess it'll be maybe Sigurd's Reach members all have pagers or something, or the equivalent of a pager.
Yeah, sure.
And I'll go down into the office, where they've got the the database thing, and I'll just send them. I'll just send them all. Return to the Reach immediately. Papa's home.
Okay, so yeah, this room that you enter, it's towards the second floor of the building. They wouldn't put it right on the first floor because anybody could get to it, but on the second floor there's an office area that they've kind of banged out some of the walls to make it larger from its original hotel office, and it's not this big massive machine, but there's a single computer, kind of old school looking, that you're able to send this mass page.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, sweet. And then I'll just go, and I'll just kind of I'll wait in the hall where people muster. I'll just kind of walk there patiently, adjust my tie and kind of brush off a chair in a central speaking area, and just kind of just kind of sit there arms crossed as they file in, and I'll just kind of wait to address them in their entirety, kind of thing, or the amount of entirety that I can come to expect.
Sure. So it takes a few minutes, the better part of 20 minutes for the first person to start showing up, since they had previously been spread out to different parts of the city. Roll rapport.
Oh, goody. Oh, goody. Yay.
Since you had previously been known almost as enemy number one, with what they were told from Uriah.
That's a 2.
All right, it's fair.
I mean, with a 0 on my stat, that's really fucking good, actually.
Yeah. So the first few faces that come in, they're kind of met with at first confusion and then a little bit of hostility. A couple of them, and I'm saying this first group is 5 people. Eventually, that Sigurd's Reach would have closer to 100.
How many are Tims, though?
Out of this 5, 2 of them are Tims. And those are the ones that are more confused. The other 3, kind of look hostile, and they start to draw whatever weapon they have. Some have firearms, some have like just a bat or a pipe that they had strapped to them.
Yeah, and just like as they're filing in, I'll just be like putting my rings back on, very carefully, because I only have the one. I don't have a lot of. I've got like the rocket fist. Yeah, I've got the rocket fist thing, and I've just like fucking like.
Yeah.
So I have to like get it up, put it in the fist, and then.
This
Are
is
we
a
gonna
really
try that
intimidating
again, or are we
picture.
gonna leave it at you're gonna try to get it up and put it in the fist?
No,
Hey, man, I'm not.
That's
I'm not the one. I'm not the one that said she's gonna come at my hand or whatever. You
I
said.
know. Yeah. No. We sat on that. We let that go.
I don't remember saying that.
You said your mother was gonna come at your hands.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, is Bowser all right? Okay,
Yeah.
you just little glitch. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of make a point to they can feel any sort of way, but I'm just gonna wait, let them muster. If they want to say anything or do anything, I'll happily respond. But
Yeah, one of them calls out, Uriah?
he's licking his wounds upstairs. He's safe
What the
though.
fuck did you do?
Well, I disciplined him, and I made it clear that he wasn't fit to lead. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah. At this point, more and more people are starting to pile in.
How many faces do I recognize?
Roll
Like, is this a fucking just band of like untrained youngins? Perfectly neutral, and I doubt I have anything for connections. Connections. Is that contacts?
Yeah.
+1 actually. So, a perfectly neutral becomes a 1.
Okay. You had been a year in isolation, and you've seen how far Sigurd's Reach has fallen from your original idea. And even its recruitment had changed, like the way that they went about gaining followers, that it's almost like it was less intentional as you were when finding those lost souls that really need some guidance, and now it's just anybody with maybe a little bit of muscle could join the army. And so you recognize a very small handful of faces, but for the most part they're all new to you. Much of them are younger, between 15 to 20 years old, but now this room is starting to fill with 20, 30, 40 bodies that are now. You said you positioned yourself, was it in the communications room or in the lobby?
No, so like the idea is like the hall, like because it's a hotel, right? So
Yeah.
I would just assume that if it's for like a big meeting, we'd probably do like one of the conference rooms, like one of the big halls. That they
Oh,
would
yeah,
have,
there's a
like, dinners or
ballroom.
something in. Yeah, the ballroom. Yeah, perfect. And so what I would do is I would just like kind of sit, so that there'd be like, you know, people would be able to fill up. Maybe there's an atrium or like some like seating or something for that people, like stadium seating or something for people to sit in and file into, and I would just be like sitting opposite to where the majority of people would be filing in.
So yeah, the ballroom is where they kind of used as their main hub and main meeting point. It's almost like a war room setting. There was a big table that they had some plans, but also there was like some chairs strewn out on the sides, maybe like small games where they were just using to kill time. Maybe they would just like spar each other in this room. It's a fairly large room, and any chairs were almost like stacked away in a closet for an event that could be pulled out.
Oh, that's cute. Then maybe that's what I'm doing then. Maybe when people are coming in, I'm like unstacking chairs and making like a place for them to sit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so some do take a chair. Some you see are like, what the fuck is this? And start like kicking some over. Some refuse to sit and are just kind of standing along the sides. You can immediately recognize the Tims because they're the ones that look like they have no idea what's going on and just trying to posture based on whoever's next to them.
Yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, I guess I'll go to one of the Tims and be like, hey, would you mind fetching some coffee, and maybe if there's a personnel list, I'm not going to take attendance, of course, but I'd love to see a record of that.
And this guy now looks like super lost because he's getting an order from you, doesn't really know you, and he's like kind of looking around.
I'm just essentially acting like I'm already running the place.
Right. Eventually, a woman kind of steps forth through the crowd. And people like kind of part as she's walking through. She's a little older. She may be like 26 or so. But she looks kind of ragged, like she's been in quite the number of scuffles. She's got very short hair, slicked back. It's kind of beaten up denim vest, and a tank top underneath. A gun strapped to her army pants, like these camo cargo pants, and work boots. Well, look who's returned. She looks around, and some people are confused, and some people are like, understand. You don't recognize this face, but she knows you. And based on the way that she's posturing and other people are kind of treating her, it's safe to assume that she might be some sort of lieutenant in the ranks here with the Sigurd's Reach.
I address her like with my face as she speaks, but it doesn't like prevent me from stopping to pull these out, go for another rack, and I say, yeah, I got back as soon as I could.
Well, from what I heard, took your sweet time. In fact, I heard you were dead. I heard you abandoned us. Sold us out. Isn't that what we heard? And everyone's like, yeah! And you can feel the energy in the room shifting against you, like going from a place of unsure what's going on towards more of a hostile environment.
I will happily address all of your concerns, and make sure that everyone had a chance to speak, but if you'd please, someone can help me with these chairs too. It'll go a lot faster. We're just gonna muster here, and then we can talk everything out. And
where's Uriah?
Uriah will be down shortly. He's just cleaning himself up.
And she kind of turns to another person. Go check on Uriah. And
I'll turn sharply and go, why don't you join him?
I think I'll stay here.
Sounds good. Are you going to help with the chairs?
No, you know what? And she does grab a chair, but she turns it around and sits on it backwards, puts her hands over the back. I'm curious what gives you the fucking right to show up and start giving my people orders.
I get so close to her face our nose almost touch, and without blinking I say, what gives you the impatience to demand for answers when I've told you they're coming?
You gotta roll something for those. It could either be intimidation or charisma, depending on what you're aiming to do.
Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna preemptively spend a fate point to use the closer because I'm not a very good roller and I only have a +1 to intimidation. Okay. That is a 3.
Sid.
Did you roll all blanks?
I don't want to talk about it. Oh, it's a 4. It's a 4. Thank you. You actually did the math better for me. I got a +1 on my roll, +1, +2. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for asking. Actually,
I was like that's a base +3. So
yeah, you're right.
All right. I'm curious. I tell you, if Uriah's up there dead, you're not making it out of here.
Sounds good. If you grab a chair,
Tim's!
it'll go a lot faster.
Tim's! Chairs! And she now, like, turns her chair around and puts her feet up on one right in front of her as all the Tims, like, instantly scurry and they start, like, they take the chair out of your hand and start placing it down, and in a matter of minutes, they have a couple hundred chairs in, like, really nice rows with an aisle in the middle.
Yeah, nice. And I'll just grab one and I'm gonna, like, just, like, drag it on the floor, like, 20 feet out into the center of the room and turn it to face the other chairs. And then I'll sit down and allow everyone to, like, take a seat. And I'm gonna wait for Uriah to enter the room. In fact, maybe I'll grab another chair and I'll put it beside mine.
nice.
So as you're sitting there waiting, you hear all this hustle and bustle. Some people are sitting, some people are standing around, like, unsure what to do. You can even pick up, like, from a few of the faces you recognize, they're, like, kind of giving the eye, like, it's unclear how anybody is meant to feel about you right now, because you don't know what they've been told fully. You don't know what sort of relationship has been lost with those that maybe you even had a good rapport with. But a few minutes later, you hear this hush kind of sweep across the room as in the back doorway in the center of the room, one of the Tims, or two of the Tims now have Uriah, hands over each of their shoulders. And he's walking in, and as soon as he, like, sees everyone around, he immediately, like, pushes the Tims off and starts pretending like he can walk on his own accord.
And I just, like, look at him and I kind of just, like, I give him, like, a wry smile and I just, like, pat the seat next to me.
And he hesitates a moment, he looks around, then eventually kind of puffs up his chest as much as he can, wipes the trickle of blood that won't stop from his nose, and limps his way down the center aisle. And everyone's just kind of staring, completely silent, as he makes his way. And he gets up to the chair, he scoots it a little further, just a little further away from your chair.
Sure.
He plops himself down in it.
As he sits down, I will kind of address the room now more formally, and just go, thank you all for coming here. This is a matter of very, very severe importance. I want to first of all apologize to all of you. This is not how the Reach was meant to function. Now, the way that it's going to go from now on is Uriah will shadow me. He will be retrained with the rest of you, and you will all file in or file out whether or not you want to be a part of how the Reach was meant to operate. So, first of all, allow me to introduce myself to some of you that don't know me. My name is Wayland, and I was one of the founding members of this organization. The intent was to take people such as yourselves and pull them from the streets, pull them from the iron corners, and give them purpose. We have done jobs for bad people. That is true. But the integrity and the skills that we were teaching all of you was to outgrow that business model. And we will never outgrow that business model working for the criminals directly. And I look at Uriah and I say, and then I look back at the group and I say, this was not anyone's fault but my own for trusting a child that I had not properly vetted. That's my failure to you all. And I vow that I will not fail you again should you choose to remain in the Reach. But know that you will be trained and you will be disciplined. Now, does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns? And I just imagine they all fucking
Yeah.
they just all fucking erupt.
There is an eruption. Some people are like upset. Some people are like, that's the founder. Uriah is just like,
hand.
right. Uriah's sitting there looking like so despondent. Like he feels like shit. He looks like shit. And some people are like screaming at him to speak up and say something. But eventually, this woman that had just kind of spoke up a moment ago, she like calms down the group, puts her hand up, and they hush just enough. She's like, so you're telling all of us that now we are meant to go against the Golds? Okay, good luck with that, Papa.
Yeah, I do intend for that. Yeah, I do. And you know what? If you're a coward, then yeah, feel free to leave. That's not what this organization is about. That's not what we breed here. We do not breed cowardice.
And you hear one voice in the back. The Gold's not a sitting pretty. I'm not giving that up.
Yeah, that's also another tenet that we don't appreciate at the Reach. This is a place where you need to learn to work. You need to learn how to be steadfast during this truly terrible time in our history. If you're here for comfort, you are simply in the wrong place.
And Uriah eventually, like, resituates himself in the seat. Yo! He bested me. That's the rules. I don't care how you feel about him. Honestly, I don't give a fuck what you do. I yield. If you want to leave, leave. If you want to stay, shake things up. I don't give a fuck. He just like leans back in his chair.
Eloquently said, nephew. No, but no, I'll just like kind of reiterate it and go, look, most of you, and I look around the room, and it's true, most of you joined this organization not knowing what it was, and that's not your fault. But what I can promise you is if you're scared or tired of going back to the way things were before you had a family, before you had a group of people that you could rely on, we will make a difference here. But it starts with you pulling up your fucking pants, tying your shoelaces, and learning what it means to make a difference.
Roll charisma one more time.
Fuck! Can I roll fight?
If you want to fight 100 people all right now.
Okay, nice. Wow. That's awesome for
I'm
me.
100% betting on Wayland in that moment.
Yeah, right.
Charisma is a 0, so that's a 2.
Nice.
Look at me go. You have to understand, that's like a 6 for Wayland.
Oh, should I just put it on Wayland? I'll change this ladder. Oh, wait.
Yeah, thank you.
So, there's a moment where kind of this hush remains and is setting over this crowd. And then, eventually, you see people start to stand up. And some people start to file out.
Yeah, I want to as they start to stand up, Wayland is like feeling insecure. This is exactly why he didn't want to run in the first place. He knows that collecting people and inspiring people isn't his forte. His forte is training and discipline. He's very much the guy that you get after you've been onboarded.
Right.
And so as they like get up before they leave, I rest my or even I get up and I put my hand on the shoulder of Uriah and I say, if anything of your father's work meant something to you, I implore you to use what I know you've inherited in him to make them believe in his vision.
You see him kind of turn away for a moment. He takes a big deep breath. Spits some blood out on the floor. Pause.
He spits some blood on the floor. Brett, ew!
Left in disgust.
All good?
I didn't do shit. I was just sitting here, and all of a sudden the screen went blank.
Said no.
Like,
Okay.
I'm good.
Cool. We're still good here. Okay. And he takes a big deep breath. Fuck you. He stands up. Hang on! And everyone stops. And at this point, it almost looked like half of this room was about to walk out that door. Many people were staying. Many Tims were staying.
I mean, it can't be worse than what it was.
Right. I lied to you.
Oh.
I lied to all of you. You know what? I lied to myself. I grew up here at the Reach. I know this may be a shock. I told many of you different things. But everything this man said is true. It was him, my dad, and I was a part of it. I didn't believe in the vision of Sigurd's Reach. And in the effort to be honest, I don't know that I still do. One thing I know, this is a good man. He's a good man with good intentions. So, if you want to stay and become something more than you are now, he'll get you there. If you want cool shit, go back to the golds. Fuck, that might be where I'm headed. He looks down at you. I fought him for a long time. Not today. It didn't last that long. But over the past year, been wrestling with what I did to him. Shit, to my old man. To all of you. So consider this my resignation as leader of the Sigurd's Reach. He looks down at you. It's your problem now.
All right, 100 push-ups, everybody. No, just kidding.
And Uriah starts walking down the center aisle towards the door. And shortly behind him, there's a smaller clump that was prepared to leave than what was prepared to leave a moment ago. But still, there's a small exodus.
And I say this to the whole group, but like kind of like pointed at Uriah, and I'd say, this isn't some kind of calling. The door is open to anyone who needs it. Any of you that are leaving right now, know that if you change your mind, happily accept your return. So long as you're willing to accept that it's changed here.
And after a moment of thought, if there was 100 people in this room previously, probably 40 of them walk out the door. Including Uriah, including that woman that was mouthy earlier. Make one more perception check.
Oh, perception check. Okay. I don't think I'm necessarily good. I go up on the roof for bird's eye view.
What?
Shit. That is a 1, and perception is, come on. Nice. That's a 3. I can do other things than punch.
Among the group that leaves, you do recognize a couple faces. Some of maybe the original Reach members. Some kind of like shaking their head. Some almost with remorse. But they also exit. and you're left with about 60 members in this group. Some of them sitting, some of them standing. So what now? Says one Tim.
And he's like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to meet you all. So if you wanna file in, I'm gonna shake each one of your hands and get to know you into it.
Right now.
Obviously we don't have to roleplay that, but
Yeah.
No, I'd like the role play, and I'd like to know all 60 names.
How many Tims out of that 60?
How many Tims out of the 60? Probably 20.
Yeah.
All right, you got a good crop of recruits that you.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing: is all of their designations have been removed, right? Because I'm gonna have to. So who knows that they might all be Tims at the end of this.
Oh.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna designate them. You know, after we. I feel like there's a montage, a Sigurd's Reach montage now, of like me shaking everyone's hand as like there's like lens flares and those like anime sparkles, and then we like cut to like Wayland with a clipboard and a whistle. And then there's like you see like a Tim with his hands wrapped and he's like punching a speed bag, and then the camera slows as the thing wobbles phallically, and then you know what I mean, we cut to like a swimming pool like endurance thing, and people are running, and then like you see Wayland walking through a weight room with his clipboard writing down notes as he's like evaluating people lifting weights. You see a Tim with like two like 60-pound dumbbells just like refusing to give up but unable to curl them. I think like all that kind of stuff happens,
And I think it could in time.
yeah, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
There's never downtime in this series, but if there was,
If there were any time jumps.
Josh has only been begging since day one. Let the world breathe. No.
No.
We're gonna choke this world.
Speaking of choke and Josh, so you've been slaving away in Truman's workspace for last couple hours. You previously rolled a 1
It was terrible.
on your suit.
Mm-hmm.
In the midst of trying to create an entire suit, you did get frustrated because this material works very different than the material you're used to working with. You know, body parts.
yeah, flesh.
Skin? Yeah.
And so then you decide you're just gonna lean into what you're good at. And you find that first aid kit. And instead of sewing an entire suit, you start to sew pieces of this cloth directly onto your skin.
Yup. Love that. That's exactly what happens.
100% saw it. As soon as it pointed out fletch, suit, and then stitching, I was like, oh, this is gonna, for sure, this is where this is going.
Here we go.
Roll physique to see how well you take this pain.
Oh, doesn't Wayland? Not Wayland. Doesn't Syrkon have the perfect stun for this?
I do. I'm gonna spend. Well, no, it's when I convert physical stress. I can roll will instead of.
Which you might need in a moment,
Yeah, I was gonna say when you
Right.
inevitably fail.
Right.
depending on how well you roll physique right now.
Right. I mean, where's my physique? I thought I had at least 1 point in physique, but I apparently don't. Awesome. All right, here we go. Okay. So I got a 2. But I am going to... Man, can you... I guess you probably can't do multiple aspects to get multiple +2s, can you?
I don't know. Talk me into it.
All right. Well, I'm going to use one for invoking my high concept, my master torturer skills, because I'm not going to cover my whole body. That's insane. But I know if I were to say put hooks into people and lift them with chains, I know where the anchor points of the body are for weight. And so those are the areas where I focus on all of those pivot points.
Okay. Is that a plus? So you're adding a plus 2 or doing
so
a
that'd be
reroll?
that'd be a +2, and then adding a +2 for always push my luck. I'm putting whatever chemicals are in this cloth will now be attached into my skin.
So that brings your total to
That would be a 6.
which is a fantastic on the competence scale. You know what? Why not?
Can Wayland add his fight to every charisma-based roll?
You're fighting for their attention.
Why,
So describe what Syrkon looks like with this fabric being sewn to his body.
So, seeing Syrkon mostly naked, you see that his body is as scarred as the bodies he has left in his wake. There are just cuts, old wounds, burns, just a body, a tortured body underneath his clothes. And he is meticulously, has moved over one of those magnifying lamps that they have for like close stitching, and he is dialed in. He was frantic before when we saw him, like it was almost his addictive personality in the frantic way he was moving through, but now that he is focused and changed gears, he is still, and his sheer willpower is allowing him to work in silence, stitching into his own skin without flinching. And so now the
like where the fabric is, what you look
gotcha.
like. You can't wear any clothes, or are you wearing clothes? How does this work?
I mean, I could put on clothes over this.
I don't know what your intention with this is, but I'm immediately picturing flying squirrel.
God damn it, Austin.
I turn myself into an artificial Reptaran, essentially.
Okay, so we have like along the inside of your arms, down your side.
Yeah, and so
You
it'd
have
be
kind
like,
of a wing?
like I said, those anchor points. So like my upper arms, my thighs, my it's my calves, those spots. So yeah, biceps, triceps, calves, thighs.
And just underwear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna put my suit back on.
That's my question. How do you wear the suit and
Well, the fabric is what
it's just underneath?
it's gonna
all your
levitate
clothes?
my skin. Yeah.
So what we're seeing is, while he's floating, you're seeing his suit jacket raise up from the fabric sewn in his skin, floating up. So it's gonna look like he is artificially meat hooked all the time.
Yep.
In all of those places.
Yeah. How horrifying is that?
I hate it.
The
All right, so
Batman
at
was
the end
actually
of-
good.
I think
2
we're rated
hours.
M officially now.
I think so. This is the end of 2 hours. You successfully have sewn this fabric into your body, with minimal damage, like minimal physical stress, because of how expertly you can torture a human body. It does hurt. Like, while you maybe aren't like bleeding all over, it's really raw. It's really sensitive. Even like every move it is pain. Not quite to the point of physical stress yet, but currently It's like maybe the adrenaline, maybe the like thrill of the possibilities is keeping it at bay.
Yeah, Syrkon is sitting in a chair, and then he just starts to levitate, to like focus on trying to levitate his arms independently, and like start moving them opposite of each other, like contorting, seeing what ways he can move his body. It looks like a nightmare.
Roll, let's call it expertise.
Hell yeah. I'm high as shit. That is a 4.
Really because of the zodicium that's like woven into the fabric. Less about maybe the eye drops.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still high on those?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's been a couple hours. How long does that last?
You said he re-upped right away, didn't
Yeah,
he? Like when he arrived.
I re-upped before I met the guard and came up.
He's like,
we
ooh.
discussed it was like 4 hours.
He's like, ooh, my lungs hurt. Ooh, my lungs hurt. Drop.
All right, you rolled a 4 on the expertise just now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as you're starting to experiment, it's almost like that scene in Willy Wonka, with the drinks that make you float. How at first, like, you're starting to float a little bit, but it's like finding the balance in your body. Because unlike the cape that had a single point of flight, this is now kind of all over, and you're finding how to best move your body in the way that you can stay upright, or maybe on your belly, and you can feel it's gonna take some practice. Right now you kind of look like a very awkward baby, floating in the air, unaware of what their limbs are meant to do.
Yeah. From Syrkon's perspective, as he's figuring all this out, he's moving around, and he hasn't, before he's fully taken himself off the ground for the first time, feeling it from Syrkon's perspective, his vision, he sees everything, he feels everything. The noise in his head is the vibration of the world that he's making contact with. And the second he finally gets his whole body to float independently, the sound of the rumbling is gone, and it's like he's hearing silence for the first time. And that's been the obsession he's had with flying, is that when he's on X, he feels the rumble, the tremors through the ground at all times. And now, being in the air, not touching anything, he has a sense of peace for the first time.
And the first time in how long?
Since he started taking X, which would have been when he was a teenager.
Roll for crying.
Yeah. Oh, a single tear, but it's oily from his eyes. An oily black tear rolls down his cheek. And he
all right,
and he closes his eyes, and his smile creeps across his face.
And reaches his eyes for the first time.
Reaches his eyes. No, his eyes are closed. You would never know.
Oh.
That's crazy. I fucking forgot that I hated Syrkon. It's been a long time. It's been a long time, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I fucking hate this guy." Forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
Forgot about how uncomfortable I'm not even around him right now. I just hate hearing it.
All right, so you successfully have created a flight skin suit.
Hey, Austin, I would like this fan art when you get some.
I'm actually working right now on fan art that I think Josh requested.
Oh, I know exactly what it is.
Where would you like to go? What are you doing now?
I'm gonna head to Max's. My 2 hours are up.
Yeah. Are you walking or attempting to fly?
I'm gonna attempt to fly the whole goddamn way. I'm gonna go out the same fire escape that I leapt off of the first time.
Oh my god, I can't save him this
I
time.
don't have Wayland there to catch me this time. In the chaos up on that fire escape, I'm gonna roll perception to see if I notice anything from this vantage point with the city cleared out.
Sure.
That is a 5. Hot damn.
What's your X modifier?
My X is a +3. Oh, so that yeah, it's even better.
So, in this peaceful state, as you still awkwardly like swim towards the fire escape, and you have to like grab a curtain and kind of pull yourself as you're learning this.
It's like watching somebody experience zero gravity for the first time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You float out onto this fire escape, and before your perception was kind of so pinpointed to your task at hand, and now in this extra sense of peace, you feel like you can see everything. And it's almost euphoric, and it hits you almost as strong as the X does itself. You kind of survey over the city street that you can see off this fire escape, and not quite up this high, but maybe going down to the 6th or 8th floor of this building is where this haze kind of fades off, but you can see down by the street level this haze has gotten thicker. But not thick enough that maybe a slight breeze blows through and creates a space on the street just big enough for you to notice a body laying face down.
Syrkon looks down to the body. Has no idea who it is from this distance, but he takes a deep breath, looks back out over the horizon. Fear not, Aurora. God is home. And I fly down for that body.
I think I'd like to vacate this campaign.
Hey, can we see that Theo dies from this? Hey, DM.
Plan. Just go ahead and we're gonna eat me out real quick.
Hey, DM, can I say that I died from this?
Good seeing you. Thanks for being here.
Oh yeah, and Wayland actually gets murdered by Syrkon's Rage. Crazy.
Crazy. So you swoop down, and it's still awkward, but yeah. You're starting to almost feel how you can, like a flying squirrel or like a Raptaran, catch the breeze. And
I dissected enough of them, am I right?
Hey, yo.
Not.
Let me out.
Allegedly.
And you swoop down, and as you do, you create a wake of haze behind you as you kind of pierce into this fog towards your body. The veil of fog. And as you get closer, roll connection.
1.
Yeah. You still don't quite recognize the body. That is until you get all the way to the ground, and you do find Theo Maxwell face down in a puddle of raw zodicium. And after, do you land or do you stay aloft?
I stay aloft.
Okay, but as you slow down, the fog starts to collapse back over you, and you can feel that familiar feeling of your lungs starting to choke.
I grab Theo by the back, and I pull him up straight up like a crane game.
I am confirmed out.
Roll athletics to see how well,
right.
even though you can fly.
I got a good athletics. That is a 1. Fuck.
So you're able to grab him, and it's almost like the power of the floating fabric connected to your skin is doing most of the work. But you feel your grip is straining to lift him, just this dead weight, off the ground. You do manage to get him maybe like 2 feet off the ground, but you can't get fully outside the fog.
I'm gonna. Oh no, never mind. If I. Oh man, I'm trying to think if there's a way I can force my way out of this. No, there is not.
You did get him off the ground. You're just not flying completely straight up.
Sure.
You are afloat.
We are. Then I'm gonna try to, even if it hurts, I'm going to like flex my muscles. In obviously the fabric is in those muscles. I'm gonna like pull them as hard as I can just to get above. I'm gonna try to get up and over to either like the nearest fire escape just above the hazards, because I know I'm not getting all the way up. In my head, I'm pretty sure I'm flying all the way back up to that rooftop.
Okay. I need you to take a point of physical stress.
Absolutely.
As you're straining your body against these brand new stitches. But you're starting to like connect and understand how these work a little bit better, and you do fly not quite back as high as you were in Truman's building, but maybe a few floors below. You make it to a fire escape with Theo unconscious hanging up below you.
I roll him over and smack his face.
It's interesting. As you roll him over, this isn't quite the same Theo that you last saw. His skin has grown a little bit darker. Almost like an inhuman purplish color. And his black hair almost becomes this wispy, we'll call it ethereal smoke.
Cool.
And
can I roll...
you go to smack his face, and it also kind of lacks a little bit of that physical contact. Like you smack it, but it's almost like smacking. Like if you had an implant, yeah, like a Ziploc bag full of water. Like there's too much give.
Wild. Well, while he's passed out, I check how flexible his skin is. I take a finger and I push into his face as hard as I can.
It goes further than it should. It's almost like where you expect to feel the rigidity of bone. It gives a little too much.
Syrkon whispers, fascinating.
But you do see at his hairline, whereas the hair is almost like this odd wisp. You can see how it doesn't stop starchly at the hairline. It's like starting to fade further down into his face as well.
I'm gonna roll expertise to see if what I know as a junkie, the effects of what could be happening to him being found that I found him face down in raw X.
Sure.
That is shit. That's a net 0, so +3.
You know that raw zodicium to most population can be mostly fatal, even in small doses. But to be face down in a full puddle, surrounded by fog, the effects entering your lungs, entering your skin, your nose, your mouth. You've never seen anything quite like this.
Is he an X-Man?
It's pronounced Zodicium, man.
Be respectful.
Be respectful of the copyright.
Listen, if X-Men is the one that gets us shut down, that's a win in my book.
We're on Marvel's radar? Yeah!
Exactly my point.
Yeah, you never quite seen anything like this, but he's not responding to any of your physical slaps or pokes. You can check to see if he's alive. You would assume that anybody in that position would be dead.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a kind of a medical check on him. That is a +1.
What are you rolling?
That was I rolled. Well, I don't have a like first aid or anything. That was just a blank roll.
Oh, okay. Well, roll. I think we did crafting.
What are you rolling? I don't know.
It was human crafting was a medicine check essentially.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
So-
I don't have crafting. I
Okay,
remembered
so
that I
plus
didn't
one.
have anything, and I just rolled.
So that was just a +1.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I am on X. If you want to give me my XI bonus.
Okay. As you like kind of feeling around, you feel for a pulse. You open his eyes, and as you go to open his eyes, you find that his pupils and his iris are completely gone.
What?
And they are now like it. You take it as a sign of life, as this slight purple glow now fills his eyes.
Let's have.
These are the most unnerving eyes I've ever seen.
But then, as you go to check for a pulse, once again, you have to feel a little deeper than you're expecting, but you do get just a tiny bit of a pulse.
I take my hand like I am in a terrible kung fu
Hate where this
movie,
is going
and I
already.
grab his heart because I can stick my fingers. I'm literally gonna feel if his heart's beating.
Heart massage.
Yeah, a little bit. I dig my.
No, but I know. Almost like if Stretch Armstrong had a heart, you could press into and kind of feel it. And you do. You knowing the human body very well, you know exactly where the human heart should be, and you find something that has a very faint heartbeat.
Okay. I lift Theo and like put him over my shoulder like a fireman carry, and start climbing the stairs of this fire escape to get higher.
Okay.
I know I can't levitate him, but I can carry him.
Roll athletics one more time.
Tumble all the way down. Back into
roll
it.
roll Creed for me.
A 1. Oh no, my +2 athletics, so 3.
Oh, okay. That's better. I was going to have you take another point of physical stress, but you're fighting through the pain and you seem to be managing it okay. And you do climb all the way. Are you going all the way to the roof? Or
Yeah.
where are you going?
Mhm. I'm gonna go to the roof.
So you do get all the way to the roof, which is much further out of the way of this fog. And you find that you yourself can breathe even easier up here.
And I pull out Theo's phone from his pocket, and I text Wayland to come get us.
You text Wayland, and I have to.
Still calling it this time.
I pull the whistle out of my. I like spit the whistle out of my mouth. I put down the clipboard, and then you call me or text me.
Text you.
Text me like how do you?
Because it's from Theo. I want you to think you're responding to Theo, because I don't know if you'll come running for Syrkon.
I pull the phone. I pull the phone, and I'm like, it's almost time for a prescription.
Roll for cheaters.
What does it say?
It says SOS, and then it has the address of Truman's building.
I get the SOS from Theo, and I'm like, oh shit. He called me. We talked.
We did talk. Oh my god.
Okay, so I guess I'm gonna have to assess the situation that I'm in, but Yeah, I guess I'll take the Tim that helped me initially, and I'll be like, son, we got a little errand to run. You're coming with me.
Oh, and it says rooftop. Also in that it's SOS, the address, rooftop.
Yeah, okay. Oh fuck, and there's
So
gonna
you know you'll need your grapple arms.
yeah, yeah. I'll grab. I got my duffel bag. I'll have him drive. But then there's gonna be a. Wayland doesn't know this yet, but this is not the mission for him. He's not the guy who can get past the roadblock.
Oh
yes,
past the roadblock.
but you have to understand that this is very important. Yeah. I guess I'll have to come to that when I get to it. But yeah, Wayland and his most reliable Tim is on his way.
Okay. Are you swinging or are you going by foot? Are you taking a vehicle?
I was thinking, well, because he said SOS or whatever. I originally was thinking I needed a vehicle to fit everyone in for whatever. So it's me and Tim in just a 4-seater. And we'll head that way. But then I'll just have to fucking ditch him when we get turned around. I'll just have to.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We could just roleplay this really quick. We get to the roadblock and I go home. Thank you for your help, but you're not needed. I'm sorry for wasting your time.
So you're ditching the Tim in the car, and you're then gonna swing.
Yeah, he can just drive back. I guess I misread the text. You know, who would have guessed?
You need a prescription.
Who would have guessed?
Tim is just looking over your shoulder, trying to understand what's going on. He's like, "No, you don't. No, okay, I'll just stay here."
He's just like sitting in traffic. He does the baby driver thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I guess I'll just go up and I'll just find an alley, and I'll swing up and I'll just rooftop to rooftop my way to them.
Roll burglary for swings.
Well, that couldn't have gone any worse. Well, I guess it could have gone. I guess it could have gone worse. I rolled 3 negatives and 1 neutral, so it could have gone worse. That's true. That's true, Austin. Look on the bright side. I guess I'm just going to invoke. I can either do. Yeah, I'll just invoke. No one said it was easy, and I'll just old
Okay.
man. I'll shoot and I'll miss, and I'll just like use my strength to force the hook over. I'll just fucking heave it over. Wow. And the exact opposite. 3 positives and 1 neutral.
Nice.
There you go.
So that'll be a 6.
So it does take you just a little bit longer, especially now that you're kind of navigating these blockades. And while you're pretty good at remaining unseen, that's usually with the distraction of a hustle and bustle of a city. This is a clear area, so that if you're anywhere you're not supposed to be, you're going to be clearly flagged. So it just takes you a little bit longer to meander where you want to go, but you do successfully make it through the city, make it to Truman's, and land up on the rooftop, where you find Syrkon in what seems to be an ill-fitting suit. And yeah, poking and prodding Theo. In his face looks like Theo, but nothing else really claims to be Theo. Skin color's off, his hair is weird. He's
Definitely need a prescription. I mean, I'm not a fucking medical expert, but I guess I can't heal. So I'll just go. You didn't do this, right?
No.
It's a valid first question.
Although I appreciate you asking. I found him passed out in a puddle of raws, Odysseum. He should be dead. But watch this. And I put my fingers on his chest, then sink them all the way into the palm.
Oh, like Oobleck.
Ba-bum. Ba-bum. I don't get that reference.
It was a thing on YouTube a few years ago. It's really popular. Yeah, some of the Tim showed me.
And now that it's been a little bit of time, that wispy, smoky kind of effect that was affecting his hair and just the top of his scalp, you see is starting to even come further down, and it's now just reaching across the bridge of his nose, and his eyes are still closed unless you force them open, but it's almost like this effect is slowly starting to pass down.
Okay, cool. Can I go into the first aid? I guess I'll just have to. Well, I know we established it role playing, but can I go into the first aid kit or look for a first aid kit and try to hit him with some adrenaline?
Where is you getting your first aid kit?
We're on top of Trumon's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess what I want to do is go down into the building and look for a first aid kit. Wayland doesn't know there's going to be one splayed open.
Wayland, I have an alternate
Blood
pitch
everywhere.
for our next step before you go down.
Yeah, what is it? He looks like he's fading.
Yes, you need to grab him, and we need to take him to the Knights. The Knights of Axiom have other resources, and they have bubbled.
No.
You're passed out. You don't get a vote.
Okay.
Theo refuses.
But you're going
Wayland,
to have to fly. You're going to have to fly him there.
Wayland has been to the Knights of Axiom once, right?
That's why I will lead the way.
I'm just wondering if Wayland trusts them with this guy who's probably dying.
God, I hope that.
I mean,
Here's the thing. I'll go to Syrkon and be like, if he dies before we get there, then what are they going to do? Experiment on his corpse? Let's try to
No.
wake him up first.
I will.
You know what? I'll be back in 2 minutes, Syrkon.
All right, I'll keep massaging his heart.
Like what? Wayland has to chill out first. Like he's like, you see his hackles have to come down before he jumps into the building. Like he's like, freak.
Roll investigate.
Okay. Fuck you, by the way. Okay. Investigation. Lucky for me, I have a +6 in that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that'll be totally fine. What is up with me? 3 negatives and a fucking. Can I just invoke the closer, and just fucking wrap this up?
Sure.
Never mind. 2 negatives and 2 neutrals will put me at a -1. I'm just gonna look hurriedly and be like, this is a waste of time. Run back up and grab him and just throw him over my shoulder and be like, lead the way.
Before you guys leave, though, you hear or you feel, because it's still on buzz, his phone vibrate. Theo's phone vibrate.
I grab it. Who is it?
It's the Citadel. It doesn't say on nothing.
I answer it.
Hi, Mr. Maxwell. This is insert name from front office that I can't recall.
Nope, hold on.
What's the name?
Misinsert name. You do me the honor. I just as Syrkon casually
insert name?
as Syrkon casually picks up the phone while I'm holding this dying man, I just go.
I take flight. Well, I can't take flight. I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
I grab him by the collar.
Down.
I grab him by the collar and I jump off the building.
Okay. While he's on the phone, roll burglary again to see how well you navigate. Do you have the name, T?
Nah, I can't find it.
Do we never name her?
I'm sure we did. I have so many NPCs.
I do too.
Yeah,
Shout
I
out
wonder
to
why.
if you guys remember.
I wonder why we have so many NPCs. I'd like to roll contacts, and I would like a background, please.
Yeah, I wonder why.
That's crazy.
I'm trying to bring the world to life.
We will have named every citizen in Aurora.
Was it
You're trying to give Bozer an aneurysm.
Was it Lucy Clay? I just have that she was the captain for the
No.
Light Guard.
Yeah, that was the captain for Light Guard on scene at the Institute.
Ma'am,
no,
I didn't catch your name. My windows are down. I'm
Nice.
driving like an asshole while I'm on the phone. As I'm flying.
Yeah, and what she hears is,
Now. Yeah.
Theo?
It's the wind.
I forgot about Don Coochie Lamb.
yeah. That's where I'm headed, is to Don Coochie's. Because I know there's some Coochie's.
Anyway, your client, Miss Pfeiffer, is requesting your presence before her exile. It's her legal right to request such. Please make it a priority to check in before she is exiled in the morning. That is all.
Thank you.
You should go to this doctor. You sound not yourself.
I'm perfectly well.
Okay,
Click.
whatever. You said you're headed towards Don Coochie's?
Yeah.
And Wayland's following you?
no, Wayland is swinging, and he's just going, there.
To clarify, who has my body?
I've got you over my shoulder,
Yeah.
and I've got Colin by the fucking collar. Or Colin. I've got Syrkon by the collar.
How are you swinging?
You threw me off the roof. I just assumed I'd start flying.
Yeah, I just pulled him off. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
pulled him off.
Oh,
I
okay.
assumed, yeah, he's flying, and I probably don't have any effort to keep him on there.
Okay,
Um,
yeah. And you just realized that he's not wearing a cape like he was before, and yet he's soaring like a fucking squirrel through the sky
Yes, that's how
above the
people
tree.
describe squirrels.
Yeah.
Soaring.
But it looks like my skin is jutting out.
Yeah, I just save it. That's what I.
Yeah, bank it for later.
Yeah, I just fucking save it. I can't fucking deal with this guy right now. In fact, I simply don't know if I will ever be able to deal with this.
I'm gonna roll perception to see on the way to Don Coochie's, because I got my X eyes, if I can see any of the Knights of Axiom markers that denote their secret locations, their entrances.
Sure.
Just in case there's one closer. That is a -2. I have a +2, so 0.
Yeah.
+3
You know
for my
that
X.
they're already hard to see when you're on the ground right in front of them.
Okay.
Above, there's not a chance.
Yeah.
Even on your X. Yeah.
All right, to Don Coochie's we go.
So Don Coochie's is outside the Prism District, near Theo's place. It's down the street from Theo's place, which is kind of on the bridge of Prism District versus the Iron Corners, but it's outside the evacuation zone. So once you get past and over the barricades, you find that city life has picked up just as normal, except now there's lines of traffic and Light Guard trying to maneuver and manage upset people, and some people standing all over the, like, talking and just trying to get a glimpse past the barricades. And the further away from that you go, it feels even more normatized because people are just trying to get to work and would go about their daily lives. So do you like swing onto Don Coochie's roof, or this is a floral shop, so it's a
I fly down to street level.
Okay, are you trying to do so stealthily or?
Nope. I don't know. We
we
have
will-
time.
Yeah, me and me and Theo will try to land stealthily at first, and then climb down, as to not fucking alert every single civilian. But I guess Syrkon is a great distraction.
That I am.
So what
true.
we'll do, so actually what I'll do, instead of like trying to stealth, I'll just fall like in the alley and walk around. So that when
Okay.
everyone looks at Syrkon, I can just be like, yeah, what a fucking weirdo. You know what I mean?
And really, the idea of people gliding out of the sky and landing on the ground isn't completely unheard of, since the Raptarans do it. Which is still a smaller population of the city. Some people still get a kick out of it. Some people think it's fucking weird and they're mutants and they don't belong here. But no one's you don't see a lot of human non-Raptoran people. And so you kind of catch some eyes and people look at you like, wait, where are the wings? Where's the elongated features? That's weird. But, to be polite, nobody really stops you in the street.
If I see people look at me, I hold to see if they make eye contact with me.
They do not.
Good.
They immediately look away.
And I head into Don Cucci's shop.
You are first met with, punched in the face with this aroma of floral bouquets. And it's beautiful, beautiful arrangements. There's exotic flowers that you don't see very often. But you see this large man in a leather vest, studded. Big gristly beard. Low brow and bushy eyebrow. Welcome to Don Cucci's.
Good to see you again, my friend.
I can't say we remember the pleasure, but we are having a sale. It's our 7th anniversary.
Is there anybody else in the store?
No.
Okay.
All perennials are 50% off this weekend only.
As soon as he gets going through that and I notice that there's no one in here, we need the entrance to the Knight's Lair. Theo Maxwell's been poisoned.
That's gonna be an issue.
Why?
I'll try it yourself.
Uh-oh. I go try to open the entrance.
So do you have lock dust on you?
I took some.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah.
What is it? Roll resources or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll see if I still have some, because I took some from Bobble, but I have used some since, so we'll see if I still have any. That is a 1.
So yeah, you're searching around. Theo wouldn't have any. Wayland wouldn't have any. With a 1, I'll say this, that with your flying around and excitement about your new abilities, you did have a small pouch. There's just enough for one more
Okay.
scratch left in there. So you stick your finger in and you faintly look for the eye shape. And you just find it and you do the X across it. Nothing happens. You go to try the door and it's still locked.
How long has this been blocked?
Oof. I try to stay out of their hair, but had a couple days. It happened shortly after. Did you hear about that Institute accident?
I heard.
Yeah, that went down, and then somebody else tried to get in there the next day, and they were having issue. It wouldn't open, it's still locked. Which is my store. It kind of pisses me off a little bit. I can't even open my own door, but...
Yeah, then we only have one other option. I need to access your records. Pull up Theodore Maxwell.
Oh.
And read me the address under Molly.
You human piece of garbage.
She's a scientist!
Roll rapport. See, because Don Cucci likes to keep his records confidential, with respect to his clientele.
That is 2.
Why are you guys actively trying to ruin Theo's lives?
I'm trying
Why are you saying
help.
Why are you saying guys?
What do you say fuck me for?
Why are you saying fuck me for? That's funny. We'll get a reference.
Listen, he's had several flowers over the years delivered to Miss Molly, but I am not in a present place to share that kind of sensitive information. That's why I've lasted these last 7 years.
I levitate from the ground, so I'm looking down on him straight over the counter. Give me what I asked for. I'll roll intimidate.
All right.
Wayland is just like fucking watching, holding this like soon-to-be corpse, I guess.
That is a 3.
All right, it's better. Don Cucci stands up from his stool, and like I mentioned, he is a large individual.
Oh,
I didn't play high enough.
No, you know what? Actually, this like just to give Syrkon the help action. I will just subtly turn off the take my rocket fist out, put the hook on, and rest it on the counter. Like, do you remember me? And if you do, just know that we don't have a lot of time here.
Fuck, you're Captain Hook.
I just like close my eyes and stay like with a furrowed brow to stay like I'm still mad, but I'm so fucking embarrassed. Yeah. Yeah. I killed a man with my bare hands, right in front of you.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Thank you. Now, if you would allow me, this man right here is dying, and that woman can save him.
Let me get that for you, Mr. Hook. It's no longer intimidation, it's like admiration.
He turns around, and you can like hear my fucking my clanking chains as I'm like getting so mad that was the name.
In the future, the next time you say bare hands, I'd like you to replace your hook with a bare hand, please.
Dude, if I get provided with a bare hand, I'll do it.
All right, so he goes underneath the desk and he grabs this large binder and he flips it open, and he puts on these tiny little spectacles, reader glasses.
Those are really cute on you.
They're really kind of embarrassing, but you know, you get older, you get it.
I fucking curse the heavens when he says that. I'm like, Lord, do I know it?
And he eventually finds Molly's address and pulls out this little tiny post-it and he writes it on there. Well, I hope that gets you what you need, Mr. Hook, and anytime you have any floral arrangements, you come to me. Again, perennials half off this week.
He's a captain. Show some respect.
Oh, sorry.
I open the door, and as it jingles, I just look over my shoulder. I'm like, that's a great deal.
All right, so with you three in tow to Molly's, let's do a check-in on Kit.
Sweet, I actually have to go to the washroom so bad.
Yeah. So you're alone in your cell. The last thing that you requested was your lawyer, and if he's not available, then Reginald. After probably a couple hours, you've been sitting there alone. Eventually, a light guard officer comes back. It's not Marshall, sorry. He just comes up and it's like, well, your request was submitted. Apparently your lawyer was called. It's the last I heard. I don't know, he might be on his way.
Right.
But we got to get you prepped for exile.
Not without speaking to my attorney.
Listen, he's been called. Your sentence has been given. It's our job to move forward with that. We'll keep you updated if your lawyer gets in touch. Don't worry, you're not leaving right now. It's just, we'll call it orientation. That was a good one. Thanks. So he unlocks the cell door.
Is there another person he's talking to, or is he just talking?
Nope.
Nope.
Himself.
Good dad.
Show me your hands, please. And he puts two handcuffs around your middle fingers. No, not your middle fingers, your hands. And you are led through a series of hallways. Some that you recognize getting out of this kind of holding cell area, but then takes you down a hallway that you have not yet seen before. It's rather staunch in its color. It's like just bright walls and stainless steel along the edge. Almost feels like more of a medical wing or something like that. But this person takes you through a hallway and through a door. And as you enter, there's one other individual in a lab coat. Roll perception to see what you notice in this room.
3.
All right. So one of the first things you notice is, we'll call it a suit. It's almost like if a hazmat suit was merged with military-grade tactical gear. It's got full arms, legs. It's got a helmet that kind of goes over your body with a tank that's affixed to the back. And the light guard officer says, "This is Dr.
Doofenshmirtz.
Doofenshmirtz. No, I used the Cantina 13. Not Doofenshmirtz. I'm the best doctor in the tri-state area.
Name.
It's too close. It's too close to the voice of Reginald.
This is Dr. Kendrick. She's gonna take you through all you'll need to know before you're booted from this place in the morning. Good luck. Dr. Kendrick, we still on for... She goes, no. Okay, all right. And he backs out of the room. And Dr. Kendrick, like she said, she's in a white lab coat, kind of scrubs, hair pulled back into a neat little ponytail, small square glasses, and a clipboard. Catherine Pfeiffer, can you confirm that your height, your weight, and your age, all of these are accurate? She shows you a clipboard with all of your kind of measurements and anything that's been kept on file from any medical records that they have pulled.
Yeah.
Thank you. She pulls that. All right, Miss Pfeiffer, looks like you're about to make some history, so good for you.
Hold up. History?
Yeah. In my long career here with the Citadel, and anyone I've talked to is... Have you ever heard of anyone being exiled? You're a history maker. You're gonna be a celebrity. Isn't that exciting? Now, anyway. She gestures to the suit. This is gonna be your ticket out of here. In theory, it will protect you for 24 hours down on the surface. It's got an oxygen tank that will last about that long, and let's hope that you can either hold your breath or find some means of survival down on the surface once that oxygen tank runs on out. It does have a durable...
This isn't exile. This is a death sentence.
Oh, yes. Well, it's... Death sentence is a for sure thing. You know, you get sentenced to death, we know that we're going to end your life. Really nobody knows what's going on down there. We just know the harmful effects of X when, like, the spill. Oh, did you hear there was a spill downtown? Yeah, and several people died from just that small glimpse into Ra's Odysseum. So, to put you down on the surface where it all kind of is living, I wouldn't bet my odds against you. Let me just tell you that. But we are going to make your experience as painless as possible, for humanity's sake. May I continue?
If you have to.
I do. It's in my contract. So it's got a durable coating. It should protect you from any sort of wildlife down there that might want to eat you for a snack. And you should be able to breathe. Depending on how resourceful you are, who knows? Maybe you'll be the first successful settler on the surface. You won't have any contact with anyone in Aurora, so if you are, good luck. Write a book. Hopefully it'll make its way back up here centuries from now. In the morning, you will be suiting up and escorted into one of our vehicles, and you will be flown directly to the surface. Well, it'll make its maiden voyage. We've been suiting up its armor and also its oxygen levels in hopes that everyone survives. We put a newbie as the pilot, so once again, we wish you all the luck. By the way, I hope you had a great time in the city and destroying the Institute. I'll let you know that my sister was one of those killed, so I say good luck with a smile. Questions?
No, just a comment. I know you guys would save taxpayers' money by just pushing us off a tower.
Oh, that's not
I
human.
also expected what that to be.
Yeah, the taxpayers don't like the idea of capital punishment in that way. Gotta put on a show,
I guess so. You can thank the Golds for their contribution. And she looks for the cameras.
Yeah, there's a couple.
And she claps. I'm glad I could be the star player. Too bad I won't be able to take my bow. Are you done?
Yeah. Are you?
Am I Mr. Gold? Am I done?
And she kind of goes to the door and pushes it open, and the light guard officer's still standing there. Oh, did you change your mind? No.
Yes.
We're finished here. You can take the prisoner back to her holding cell. Oh, I'm also supposed to ask, what would you like as your last meal?
I'm not hungry, thanks.
Hopefully you find some good cookings down there on the surface. Make a recipe book.
I'll leave the dedication to you.
Make it out to my sister. She shoves you out the door and closes it behind her.
Oh.
Well, the light guard speaks. She's great, isn't she? We've been playing this cat and mouse game for a number of years, and I think I'm wearing her down.
I'm going to give you a piece of advice. Because I have nothing to lose, right?
Sure.
But she's just not that into you. And the harder you push, the closer you get to being... Okay, hold on. My mind went blank.
Wait, redo. This is going to be really good.
The more you push, the farther you push her away. And if you like your job, I'd stop pushing.
I'll keep that in mind.
I would do more than keep it in mind. Because, bro, you come off as real creepy.
And you come off as really murderous, so,
And you're in the room with me. Huh?
let's get you back to your cell. Seriously, you're not hungry? You don't want a last meal?
Yeah. Nope.
Alright. Then, enjoy your final resting place.
I hope
He takes you back to
find
your
yourself
cell.
funny. I hope you find yourself funny.
Oh, I do. That's because that very much do.
It does.
Who told you to say that? Somebody else said that to me the other day. Anyway, takes you back to your cell. And takes your handcuffs off. Places you inside. We'll keep trying to get in touch with your lawyer, by the way. Time's ticking.
Don't have to remind me.
Yes, Wayland.
Not Wayland, actually.
Yes, Reginald.
Since Reginald cannot go home, he might as well get some work done. And after hearing just how soon they plan on acting on Kit's trial, it's all for the better anyway. So the first thing that I will do is I'm going to run into the records, and I'm going to pull the stenographer's ledger for the court that we just adjourned. So with all of the things that I said, all of the evidence that I brought into question, the fact that this wasn't escalated into another trial entirely shows negligence on the judge's part, and so I am going to take a copy of the dialogue that took place, and I'm going to rush to the highest judge. I can't remember his name right now. Is that Dolan?
Dolan Ludenson, yeah. Arch Luminary.
So I run up to Dolan's office because he should also have been trapped here. Theoretically, like obviously he was dismissed before we were, but theoretically he might be trapped here still. So I'm going to run up to his office and talk to his secretary, slam my hand on the desk and say, I absolutely must speak with Dolan.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I'm so afraid that's not going to be possible, as he's been taken to the seat of the Shining Sun, as all Arch Luminaries were, in the event of this catastrophic accident that's happened.
Well, take me there then.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm afraid that's not possible. See, you are a nobody, and the seat of the Shining Sun is only for, royalty and Arch Luminaries and the like. So,
do I know if it's in? Is it in this building or in this complex?
No, it's the castle.
Yeah, but it's like in this district, though, right? Like it's like if it was going to be Aurora Prism District, and then it was going to be the judge, it would be like.
Yeah, it's in this district, we'll call it, but not in the same building.
Yeah. Could I
It's
walk
an entirely
there?
different campus. You could.
Okay, cool. Then I do.
Do you leave the document?
Hell no.
Okay.
No, and I just adjust my tie, I slick my my hair back, and I go, sorry for wasting your time. And then as I spin around, I go, I hope you choke on your tongue. And I keep going. I keep going down, and I march my way to the castle.
Well, we're going to find out how well you do with that attempt next time, because we're going to bring this episode to a close. 'Cause I can feel this just going on and on and on.
Oh, no, that's a great place to close, in my opinion. Yeah.
But I'll leave you with this. As you exit the Hall of Justice, and you kind of go towards the main road leading towards the seat of the Shining Sun, you realize the reason it's called that is because as you're walking, in the distance, you see a high wall that's kind of surrounding the entire campus. but beyond that, you see these tall towers. It's like they took the idea of a medieval castle and modernized the shit out of it. A lot of that prism.
It's called gentrification.
Yeah. They took that kind of prism idea that's at the Hall of Justice and placed it within. So it's almost like these tall crystals and spires are shooting out above, and the light is shining just at the peak of the tallest tower at the center of this campus. And as it does, it's like kind of turning into fractals, and you see these rainbows kind of shifting. It's almost like it's surrounded by crystals and light and this mirrored, and it's almost bright to look at. And the closer you get, the more you have to squint. But you know that you won't be able to just easily walk right in. It's the highest security in this city of Aurora. And I wish you all the luck. Next step.
If you were Theo, you can walk right in.
Maybe old Theo.
Yeah, new Theo can just phase right through.
I can't.
How's everybody feeling?
Touched your heart.
Yeah, a little stressed, I guess.
Oh boy, that took a turn.
It took several turns.
Several turns. This is getting wild, y'all. Oh, what are we gonna do about Kit?
I'm on
Thank you for bringing most of you together.
We got most of the party back.
Yeah. Good job. Ken, how are you feeling?
Good.
Kit is Kit. And Kit will Kit her way out of this.
It looks
This
like
is help.
Wayland and Syrkon are gonna. Aw! Yes!
Aww.
I love it!
Is it reversed for you guys or just me?
Yeah.
God damn it.
It says shine.
But I could read it
It
back.
does. It's like because she's like beaming.
And I like the handcuffs.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that was from last episode.
Yeah.
It's also very fitting because my online monkey ear is Oh Shine Bright.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Aww. Well, sorry that you weren't quite in the mix as much this episode, Kit.
I enjoyed listening to everyone's story. So that's okay.
But we got a flying Syrkon, a transforming Theo, leader Wayland, and Reginald on the trail to bring justice to this moment.
Is next episode or next session, sorry, does Wayland's high concept change? Is that a major milestone?
Oh, shit.
I think-
That's a good argument.
In the middle of this episode, I'm like, you know what we haven't had in a while is a milestone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll talk milestones, and you guys can make some updates to your character sheets.
Yeah. Because I guess my appetite for revenge would have been sated.
Would. I think once you kind of complete your high concept, then that absolutely triggers a major milestone. And I think at this point, it's only fair with all that the rest of you have been through, you all reach a major milestone. So we'll review what that looks like to your character sheets and your aspects, and maybe adding stunts, maybe getting some more refresh points. I can't remember how it all works, but we'll do that off camera. Until then, thank you everyone for joining us for today's episode. We got an extra long one today. It's about to get wilder than it already is. I didn't know that was possible. But until next time, I'm Bozer.
I'm Josh.
I'm Brett.
I'm Austin.
I'm T.
And you just keep.
Bye.